Matt-Slick failure, disjunctive syllogism. Matt-Slick massive fail, disjunctive syllogism argument destroyed. All quotes from CARM.org are copied under fair use terms. In previous videos, we have shown that Matt-Slick's version of the transcendental argument for God, or TAG, fails at nearly every step. In this video, we shall show how Matt-Slick's conclusion of TAG shows his pathetic ignorance of logic and logical functions, and specifically his usage of the disjunctive syllogism. And his ignorance of logic and logical functions gives rise to a complete destruction of his TAG conclusion once and for all. From CARM.org, the last step in his TAG argument. Only two options. If we have only two possible options by which we can explain something, and one of those options is removed, by default the other option is verified, since it is impossible to negate both of the only two existing options. Either God exists or does not exist. There is no third option. If the no-God position, atheism, clearly fails to account for logical absolutes from its perspective, then it is negated, and the other option is verified. Atheism cannot account for the necessary preconditions for intelligibility, namely the existence of logical absolutes. Therefore, it is invalidated as a viable option for accounting for them, and the only other option, God exists, is validated. Matt-Slick is attempting to use what is called in logic the disjunctive syllogism. The disjunctive syllogism in this case can be explained simply as 1. Either A or not A. 2. Not A, therefore A. Thus, by negating the negative not A, we can logically conclude A. There are multiple problems with Matt-Slick's usage of the disjunctive syllogism. We will deal in this video with only one of the most obvious problems. When using the disjunctive syllogism, Matt-Slick assumes a particular kind of logic, namely bivalence or two-value logic. This is to say, true or false are the only two options with nothing in between. Matt-Slick's choice of using a two-value logical system is arbitrary, and nothing prevents us from rejecting it. Unfortunately for Matt-Slick, there are many logical systems that supersede bivalence logic. We will deal with only one of them to expose how ridiculously weak Matt-Slick's argument and conclusion is. Modal logic is a multi-valance or many-valued logical system. This means that in modal logic there are many valuations between true and false. In some multi-valence logical systems there can indeed be an infinite number of valuations between true and false. In the course of this video we will demonstrate how an infinite number of valuations can occur. Modal logic adds additional operators to the two-value or true or false logic. Some of the additional operators are necessity, possibility, contingency, and compatibility. First, we will revisit Matt-Slick's assertion, God either exists or does not exist, there is no third option. We will now add some modal logical operators to completely destroy his assertion of no other option, and thereby destroy Matt-Slick's usage of the disjunctive syllogism. Either God, or possibly God, or possibly God, or not God, or possibly not God, or possibly not God. In fact, in some modal logical systems, we can string an infinite number of possibly possibles, each having a unique logical value between true and false, thus creating an infinite number of options between true and false. We continue with more modal logical options, either God or contingently God, or not God or contingently not God. And finally, either God or necessarily God, or not God or necessarily not God. The modal logical systems shown in this video are not the only logical systems we could choose as an option to two-valence logic. Some other logical systems we could utilize include free logic, modal identity logic, tense logic, temporal logic, essentialist logic. Needless to say, we have shown many more options than a third option, and each of these extra options destroys Matt-Slick's attempt at using the disjunctive syllogism and destroys his conclusion of tag. Remember, Matt Slick has no formal training in logic nor critical thinking. His ignorance and incompetence in this area should not be surprising. Videos destroying tag. Here we have references to YouTube videos that destroy some significant aspects of Matt Slick's transcendental argument for God. Reflecting God's thoughts, Logic as Conceptual Part 1 and Part 2, and Christian Worldview.